Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, 142nd episode of the show, where I share some of my favorite posts from Instagram, things that I want to let you know, talk about. Let's get it started, shall we? This post, again, Tiffany Haddish getting another shout-out on this show. Apparently, Tiffany Haddish to play Olympic great Florence Griffin Joyner, FloJo, in an upcoming biopic? How do you say it? I say biopic. I don't know. Although, here's the thing. Biopic is usually what I say. Eventually, throughout my life, I heard people saying biopic. Actually, kind of like the way it sounds better. I like biopic sounding, but I say biopic. I mean, it's a biography, picture, a biopic. But anyway, and there's a little clip here. My heart is so full right now, I can't even explain how hard I'm going to work to honor her legacy. I'm well recorded, on record, on note. Huge fan of Tiffany Haddish. Obviously, hilarious stand-up comedian. She's hilarious as an actress in all of the comedic films that she's done. But I believe she is going to be... this is most likely going to be a dramatic film. I can't imagine they turn FloJo's life story into a comedy. So I think we're going to see how amazing Tiffany is as an actual actor. I think she's going to knock it out of the park. I don't know who the director is, but I'm going to say it right here, right now. I would not be surprised if Tiffany Haddish gets nominated for an Academy Award for a performance. I've never seen her in a dramatic film that I can think of. Maybe there is. Maybe there was a dramatic scene. There was one film she was in that was like a dark comedy called The Vow, I think it was, which was really good. She wasn't a big part of it, but it was kind of more of an ensemble cast. But I will not be surprised. I'm saying right now that whenever this film comes out, she will be nominated for best actress in a film, depending on the director. It'd have to be a good director also. But I think because she knocks it out of the park every time. I know she can tap into that dramatic. I just have there's just something about her that just that makes me feel confident in her abilities to do anything. She has a range that nobody's even seen yet, and I think I'm excited. I'm excited for the world to see it. I haven't even seen it yet, but I have this feeling, and tonight's going to be a good night, okay? I just got a feeling. But anyway, yeah, good stuff there for Tiffany Haddish. Congratulations on that piece of news. Excited to see it. Now, moving on, shall we, to a special that I talked about recently, excited about coming out on Netflix, Bo Burnham's new special, Inside. Amazing. One of the best pieces of art, as far as creativity, as far as showing people that you don't need to have, hundreds of people working on a project, like to put out a comedy special that's written, directed, edited, all by Bo Burnham is great. I mean, that's the artist mentality that inspires me. The artist that doesn't need anybody to create their work, no matter how complex it is. He's able to, despite being locked in a room, despite it taking like a year and a half, I forget how long. It was definitely over a year. I forget how long exactly he worked on the special before putting it out. It may have been maybe not a full year and a half, but definitely over a year. It's just proof that you don't need, like, everybody. It feels like everybody is waiting for somebody to give them an opportunity. Like, oh, you're going to be discovered at a urinal in a Starbucks or some shit. That's not how things happen. Bo Burnham got quote unquote discovered. He became big doing funny videos on YouTube when he was a kid in his room playing songs on a piano, which he does. I mean, it's basically a musical performance, comedic. There's a lot of comedy interspersed between the songs. It's amazing. It's so amazing. And I love all of Bo Burnham's stuff. Make Happy is a comedy special of his that's on Netflix as well. I think all three of his specials are on Netflix. Make Happy is a special I've watched probably 20 times. And this is a special that I've, at this point, probably watched 3 times. And it just came out a week or so ago. Amazing. Amazing. And it also shows not only the potential, what's possible for an artist to do on their own without, I mean, obviously the fact that he is where he is in his career is why he's able to get his special on Netflix, but it's also a great special. It's not like it's just amateur hour stuff or found footage stuff. It's like it's good quality stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing, the production quality and the production style that he has. It's a beautiful special, and also shows how difficult it is to be an artist, how torturing it is to be an artist, and I love it so much. Please check it out. Bo Burnham special, Inside, on Netflix. All right, moving on now to a way that I would love to be buried, right? Like, after I'm dead, I don't want to be cremated. I don't want to be buried in a box. I'd love for my body just to decompose, go back to the earth in whatever way possible. I know there's a lot of ways kind of people can, and it's, I don't think there's a lot of like ways in which people can be buried without, like, are there options aside from this? Let's start with this post anyway. Say goodbye to coffins. These organic burial pods will turn your body into a tree after you die. What do you think about this? I think that's amazing. 1, you're planting a tree. 2, your body is decomposing into the earth instead of just inside of a casket or burning up, which I can't imagine cremation being like, good for the environment. I mean, how much fuel it takes to burn a body, and then just this fumes from the body. I don't know, like, health consciously, if that's the way to do it, but I would love to do this. I would love to become a tree. I don't know where you could do that. I would imagine there's a lot of states that don't allow you to do stuff like that. There's probably a lot of the red states that, feel that a human should be buried inside of a box with a headstone in it, and that's the only way people should be able to die. But even cremation doesn't really, like, I don't really care. I'm dead. Take my organs, do whatever, feed me to wild animals. I don't really have a need for this flesh tomb once I'm dead. But if I could somehow just disintegrate into the earth again and feed the maggots and the worms of the earth, that would be amazing. So I don't know how likely this is. I don't know how available this is. I know I had a friend that passed away over a decade ago, and she had, I believe, her ashes were used in the making of these pods that are like aquatic habitats. They like seed reefs in the ocean. Like they look like giant, like, spheres with holes in them, like spheres of Swiss cheese, of like concrete Swiss cheese spheres. And her ashes were placed in that, and then like became part of the ocean. So, but still, I think that's still, you're still getting the cremation part. Like, I would rather have my body just put out in the ocean and let the fish eat me alive. That would be, not alive, but eat my dead body. That would be fine too. Yeah, there should be more diversity with how we treat dead bodies, especially since there's so many extra dead bodies piling up from the past year of COVID. And there's probably going to be a lot more bodies now that, some states like Texas are just letting anybody carry guns at all times. Like, there was just a story, I didn't add it to this, but there was a story about a guy who was peeing in Houston, Texas. He was peeing in the street, and somebody didn't like it, so they shot him and killed him. Actually, I don't know if he died, but they definitely shot him. And that's just because people in Texas can carry guns now, and if they don't like something, which there's a lot of things that these fragile conservatives don't like. It's like, I gotta wear a mask to like protect society. Fuck you. As far as anybody, like, it's harder to hold a knife than it is to pull a trigger of a gun. Like, just holding a knife requires like multiple, but you can, like, even if you could have like two stubs and just one little like even nub finger, and you can like kind of hold it and then pull the trigger. Like, the amount of effort it takes to kill a human being with a gun is the most minimal. The most minimal. That's why all these weak ass people love it, because they're so fragile in every way. They accuse other people of being fragile because they're like trying to make the world a better place. And they're like, "Oh, why don't you just live in the hellscape that we created?" Right? They're too fragile for that. But pulling it's stupid. Anyway, if I get shot by somebody that has a gun, that's a worthless human that feels the need to end human life using a gun, put me in a tree pod. All right, moving on. Doug Benson, one of my favorite comedians, also one of my favorite podcast hosts, the host of Doug Loves Movies, has returned to a stage. By the time this episode comes out, this episode that he taped will be released. It's the first Doug Loves Movies episode recorded in front of an audience since the pandemic happened over a year ago, since lockdown of the pandemic. Technically, the pandemic is still going on for those that pretended it was done a year ago. It's still going on in a lot of places of the country, and in the variants are going to come to this country, and all the non-vaccinated people are probably going to get it. And the sympathy I will have for them passing away in a hospital, unable to breathe because of their inability to get a vaccine, is tragic, but also celebratory. I mean, if you want to thin the herd, all this herd immunity, let's keep talking about herds, shall we? Let's thin the herd. Let's get rid of all the mentally weak people that don't believe in science and believe in hocus pocus fiction over what we can prove in our reality. But back to Doug Benson. I'm looking forward to this episode. I will have heard it, obviously, by the time you are watching or listening to this episode. But I'm a huge fan. If you are a movie fan and a comedy fan, I would highly recommend checking out Doug Loves Movies. It's a movie trivia game show that Doug Benson hosts and has on multiple comedians, actors, and other celebrities to come on and play movie trivia games. It's hilarious. It's fun. I love it. You will love it. So check it out. I'm excited. And I would love to go see one of these if he does more at the Brea Improv. Not necessarily the closest. It'd be nice if, like, some of these comedians would come east a bit. But it is what it is. I'm just glad Doug Benson is back. Because that show, specifically, Doug Loves Movies, I've been going back to old episodes pre-pandemic, listening to it. And that's a show that benefits so much from having a live audience. It's just a hilarious show. And having the audience there is so much fun. Despite, he kept it going over Zoom during the pandemic. And it was nice. It was a nice thing. It would have been nicer if he added a video component to it, but Doug Benson's very stingy about how much like no desire to really evolve or grow his shows, but I'm excited for the show to get back to its normal state of being with a live audience. So yeah, subscribe, Douglas Movies, and last but not least, there's a new reality TV show hitting HBO Max, hosted by Nikki Glazer, who is a hilarious comedian, stand-up comedian, called F Boy, which we all know stands for fuck boy. But it's crazy that there's a reality TV show that's going to be F Boy. I mean, the name itself is weird, especially since it's called fuck boy. Also, just titling a dating reality trash reality show I mean, it makes sense. It's Fuckboy Island, actually. And the little tagline, it's time to separate the men from the boys. Which, I don't know. The dating reality shows, I'm not a big fan of. I watched was it Blind Love or something like that, where they have to, they never see each other and they have to choose who they're going to propose to by the end of the series, and then they finally meet each other at one point. I don't know. I really have to be in the mood to watch reality TV show in general, and then there's layers of reality TV show, like survival reality TV show I will watch no problem. But any kind of like dating reality show or reality show that I mean, like The Circle's fun, not really dating. There's some love connections here and there, but that's not the premise of it. But the ones where it's like these love connections, it's like I can't get into them. I can't get into them. And especially something like this. I don't even like the term fuckboy. It's similar to like soy boy. It's like these insults that people come up with because they think that they're being, I don't know, they're creative. Out of all the creative things that have grown and evolved over time, the way to insult somebody is apparently on the forefront of everybody's mind. But yeah, F-Boy Island coming to HBO Max. I will not be watched. I mean, maybe here's the thing: if a show gets buzz and I feel the desire to, like, I get the FOMO, I might check it out. But chances are I won't get into it. But it's interesting. I chose this post primarily for the title, the fact that they're naming a show F-Boy. I mean, if this was on like Fox Network, it'd be called Soy Boy or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Or if like the country music channel, CMT, like they would probably have like separating the snowflakes from the Patriots. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Terminology, these like branded terminology terms, these branded cultural terms that are just being used to really insult huge groups of people for no reason is like the term simp is supposed to be a negative, but it's just a guy who's really nice to a woman. That's like, I mean, you would, but here's the thing. That's the thing. Like my time growing up, like girls liked bad boys, right? Nice guys finish last. That was like in the 90s growing up. Those were the things that I grew up on, right? Now it's like looked down upon. Now instead of like the nice guys, now you're called a simp. Like they found new ways to like label being a good person as if it's a negative. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's do some shout-outs and get out of here. Shout-out Aphrodite6325. Shout-out Tiffany Haddish. Netflix is a joke. Bo Burnham. Shout-out Dave_Anthony_ You Don't Know Doug. Shout-out Nikki Glazer. Shout-out HBO Max. And most importantly, shout-out to you. Sign up for Ting and get yourself $25 in credit on your new cell phone service, or get yourself $25 and put it towards a new device. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's TING. You'll get cell phone service that you don't pay an arm and a leg for. It's amazing service that's part of all the major cell phone networks. But sign up today through my link. Get yourself $25 in credit that you can apply to a new cell phone. You can apply it to your service. But it's amazing cell phone service that I've used for many, many years. So go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!